Hi everyone, I'm Laura from gosimpli.ca, and today I have a calorie crunching intensive core workout that's going to leave those abdominals burning. We're going to be doing 4 groups of 3 exercises in an ABC pattern, 45 seconds on, 15 seconds rest. The only equipment you'll need is a mat for your floor. If it's hard, if you're on a soft surface, you should be okay. I haven't included a warm-up or a cool-down, so you'll want to get in that on your own. Otherwise, I'll get my timer ready and we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, hopefully you've got a mat or a soft surface. We're going to get down to start. We're going to start with a toe touch crunch, legs up, and you're crunching up like you're trying to touch your toes. I can't get anywhere near my toes. Maybe you can, that's awesome. If you can't, it doesn't matter. You're just crunching like you're trying to reach them. So remember, we're doing these for 45 seconds on, 15 seconds rest, groups of 3. And an ABC pattern. So we do each group of 3 twice, and then we move on to the next group. There's 4 groups total. This whole workout should take just over 20 minutes. Okay, so 5 more seconds here, and then we'll get a little break. Okay, so now we're going to do a side hip raise on the left. So we have 15 seconds to sort of get into position here. A couple of different ways you can do this one, so I'll try and show you a few different variations. Okay, so the first one you can do is from your feet and your elbows. My shoes are squeaking. Okay, if this is really hard, that's fine. You can drop down to your knees and still get your hip lifting up there nice and high. If you want a little bit more but you can't quite go from your toes yet, try lifting one leg. And that'll give you just a little bit more difficulty without making it the hardest version. But again, if you're capable, all the way out to the end. We only have about 5 seconds left here. Okay, next up we have something that's low plank, high plank. So I'll show you what that is in a minute, but basically you can just sort of get down on your tummy to get ready. Okay, so you start in a low plank from your elbows, and you're going to push up to your hands and then walk back down to your elbows. And then push back up to your hands and back down to your elbows. And try to switch which hand you're pushing up with each time, just so that your brain doesn't get too used to it. It's kind of a brain teaser at the same time as a workout. If you mess up and you do the same arm a few times in a row, doesn't matter. You're trying to hold a nice plank here with your bum not too high, not sagging too low. Okay, we've done 3 exercises, so now we're starting back over with that toe touch crunch again. It's our second way through the first group. I'm going to get my legs up there to start. It's a nice lower back stretch. Okay, so again, reaching up for those toes. You're keeping those abdominals firm. And remembering to breathe. With abdominal exercises, it's so easy to hold your breath. It doesn't help you. In fact, it can make you feel faint, so it's really not a good thing to do. Your muscles need oxygen to work hard. Just 10 more seconds here. Now we're going back to that side hip raise on the left. We'll remember our options. We can go from full out on the legs, on the knees, or one knee and one leg up. I'll show you again. Okay, so all the way from the feet, if you can. Maybe you can do about 5 or 6 hip raises like this, and then you want to drop down your medium level. Has one leg out. And then you do this for as long as you can. And then if you need to drop, you go down to 2 knees down. And that's okay. Whichever version you're doing is okay. As you do it more and more, you'll be able to go up to a harder level. Don't berate yourself just because you're not at the highest level. And don't try and do the highest level if you can't have good form. You'll just end up injured. See, I need to drop. And then you'll have to start again after letting your body heal from an injury, which could take weeks or months. So it's really just not worth trying to do the hardest just because you think it's going to burn more calories. It doesn't necessarily. Okay? You need to do what is best for your body today. Now we're doing that low plank, high plank. Okay, so we start in low plank, push up to high, back to low. High, back to low. I find these very challenging both for my arms, like my upper chest, and my abs, and my lower back. And I even get a bit of sort of like hip work and across my glutes. Almost done here. Okay, now we're starting group 2. We're all done with group 1. We're going to start with a twisting V crunch. So we'll just get started by leaning back here a bit on your arms, your elbows behind you. To pull your legs out, you're going to twist and pull them in. So your body sort of makes a V shape. Now, there is a harder version for this. I can't really do it. I'll see if I can demonstrate it for you. So you move your hands and you extend and then crunch in. And it is extremely challenging. And if you can do it, congratulations, that's really, really great. I find it very challenging. So I keep my hands back, and that's okay. I'm not dumping all my weight into them. They're there for just a bit of support and a bit of balance. Okay, good. We get a break from that. Now we're doing that side hip raise on the right. We did it twice on the left last time, so now we're going to do it on the right. So we have the same options for difficulty levels. So we can go from our toes, which is the hardest option. We can go from one knee with one leg extended. Or we can go from two knees. Whichever works for you today is the one that you should be doing. Okay? I'm going to go back to my straight legs here. I'm trying to do the same as what I did on the other side of my body. So if you did the whole thing from your toes on the left side, you should be trying to do that on the right side as well. Okay, and we're going to do back bows now, so down on our tummy. You'll notice we're not doing just all sort of crunches here. We're working all of the abdominal muscles and the back. It's very important to work the back at the same time. So back bow, we're just raising everything up and then lowering it down. We're bowing our body like the bottom of a rocking horse. And your head should be looking, straight in front of you, straight down in front of you, so that your spine is in a good alignment. And this one you'll feel in your low back, a little bit in your upper back and your arms, holding those arms out. A bit in your glutes here, holding your legs up. You squeeze them as your legs come up. We're doing a lot of work for the back side of the body here for sure. Okay, we have done all of group 2 one time through, so now we're starting over at the beginning of group 2 with that twisting V crunch. I'll just take a minute here to breathe. Okay, remember we're twisting and then pulling our knees in. So you're trying to get sort of the opposite knee to opposite shoulder is sort of the motion that you're going for. And remember, if you want to, you can let go. There's always a way to make a workout more difficult. So if I'm not doing something challenging enough for you, find a harder option, and then the workout will still be challenging for you as well. Just 5 more seconds here. Okay, side hip raise again with that right side down. We have lots of options for difficulty levels in this one. Okay, so from your toes. From one knee with one leg extended. This actually does a lot of leg work here as well. Or from 2 knees. And you may find that doing this second side is a lot harder. And that's because when we did the other side, when we did the left side, the right side was stabilizing us. So it's working really hard. And now we're asking it to work again. So it's tired. We're almost done. Okay, now we have those back bows again. So remember, that's the bottom of the rocking horse, our body shape. You can take a little rest here out on your tummy. So pull up and then let it back down. If you can, try not to fully rest every time you come down. You know, just sort of touch lightly. And if you're finding this really hard, you can bring your arms in. You can bring them into here. That will make it, you know, quite a bit easier. Or you can bring them in just to sort of your head. Okay, so there's a couple of options there to make this easier. If you want to make this harder, you could grab some ankle weights and strap them onto your ankles. If you have more than one pair, you could strap some onto your wrists or hold a small dumbbell in your wrists as well. Again, lots of ways to make things harder or easier. Okay, so that is group 2 done. Now we're going to go on to group 3, starting with a jackknife crunch. We're halfway through this workout. So you're flat on your back, arms overhead. You're going to pull everything out and do a crunch at the top. Crunch to your toes. This one is very challenging as well. If you're finding it too much, try just dropping one leg. And then drop the other leg. Just remember to alternate which leg you're dropping. And maybe again you can do 5 of the full jackknives and then 5 single leg jackknives or something like that. To try and get yourself, you know, between the sort of easier modification and the harder modification. Okay, next up we have a Russian twist. So we're going to sit up on our tailbone here. And I'm just going to take a break here and just sit for a minute. Okay, so you want to lean back, engage the abdominals, hands in front, and twist from side to side. I'm not sure that wearing a long sleeve shirt is a good idea. I'm very hot. That's okay. So this one, you're trying to keep your back nice and flat. You know, you don't want a lot of rounding. You can really injure yourself if you round. If you're finding it too hard to hold back, sit up a bit. That's okay. The further up you sit, the easier it will be. And as you feel like you're gaining more strength, lean further back. Okay, you can make it even harder by lifting your legs. And that's very challenging to lift your legs. That hurts actually for me, having done the twist already, the V-sit twist. Okay, now we're doing Pilates swimmer. So we're down on our tummy. If you've done Pilates, you've seen these before. Basically, you're lifting one arm and opposite leg. It's supposed to sort of mimic a swimming motion. It's not exactly swimming, but you know, you get the idea. So you're really trying to squeeze your bum as you lift that leg up. We don't want to flutter too fast here. We don't want to use momentum. We want to have a good squeeze on those muscles. Keep your abs tight as well. And try to keep your head looking sort of down and straight ahead. Okay, now we start this group over with our jackknife crunch. So we're back on our backs again. Legs up in the air if you want to start. So straight out, and then up in a crunch. Crunch it up. And remember, if that's challenging, do one leg at a time. That's totally fine. I feel really upset when I see people put themselves down for not being able to do the hardest version of an exercise, and then they feel really bad about themselves, and then they stop exercising. The worst thing you can do is stop exercising. Just pick a slightly easier modification and keep going. You will get to the harder modifications if you keep practicing, if you keep trying. Okay, Russian twist. So please don't put yourself down. If you're doing this, if you're still with me this far through the workout, you're doing a great job. And that's worth recognizing. Lean back and twist to the side. You should be congratulating yourself every time you finish a workout. It's not really part of our human nature to work hard all the time. Our body's very good at trying to be efficient in everything it does. So when you do a workout and you do it beginning to end, that's amazing. It's great. You should be saying, no, I did a good job today, because you did. I'm going to go up a little bit here. I can feel my posture slipping. I can also feel my hip flexors. They are tight. Okay, now we're going to flip over on our tummy and do one more of those Pilates swimmers. I always like the ones down on your tummy. It feels so good to just lie down for a second. Okay, so alternating arm and leg, opposite arm and leg raising. Abs are firm, bum is tight, you're breathing, you're not holding your breath. Kind of gives, like, your abs are tight here, but they're getting a little bit of a break compared to the more abdominally focused ones. But when you're working your lower back, you're building strength and you're protecting it in the future. You need to have a strong back. Back injuries are so common as we get older. We need to keep that back healthy and we need to keep it moving, limber, strong. And it gives your body a better shape. Okay, 3 groups done, 1 group to go. Okay, we're starting with an X crunch. So this one, I always feel silly starting, but you literally like big spread eagle X down on the ground. I'm going to go opposite foot to hand and alternate sides. It's easier than a jackknife crunch for sure, but still challenging. And if you have super 6-pack abs, not only am I jealous of you, I would love to have them, but you can make this harder. Again, strap on some ankle weights, hold a small dumbbell in your hands. There are ways to make it more challenging for sure. If you need to make it easier, bend your leg, okay, and do sort of an elbow to knee. That's okay. Okay, now we're going to do a plank knee up. So we're going to flip over onto our side to start. We'll get down into a plank position on our elbows. And you're going to pull your knee out to the side like you're going to try and tap your elbow. Mine doesn't touch. That's okay. It doesn't need to. You're just doing the motion, crunching it up as high as you can. Trying to hold a nice plank. You don't want your bum way up here. On the other hand, you don't want to be sagging down there. That's really hard on the lower back. If this gets really hard, it's okay. Go down to your knees and same motion. Okay, now your plank is less challenging. If you can, stay from your toes. Definitely do that. Okay, and the last one we have, sorry, I have an itch. Down on your tummy, we're going to do that same back bow position. So like the rocking horse bottom, but with sort of like jumping jack arms and legs. So just watch. Okay, so you go up, you jack out, back, down. So this is sort of forcing us to hold that back bow position. If it's really hard, pull your arms in so they're bent. Okay. If you can, keep those arms straight out in front of you. Remember, your core is firm, your bum is tight, you're breathing. Okay, we need to do those 3 exercises one more time through. So we're going back to that silly spread eagle X crunch. Okay, opposite arm, opposite leg. Ooh, my hip just popped. If your hips pop but there's no pain, it's probably okay. If there's any pain, stop. Do a different variation, do a different exercise. But if you're feeling pain in your joints, that's a sign to stop. That doesn't mean, your muscles can't do the job. It means that this form of exercise your body does not want to do, and we need to listen to that. So just pick a different one that we've already done. Okay, I'm going to flip over and get ready for that plank with the knee up. Whew. I'm sweating. Nice. Down on your elbows, knee out to the side. I love having short hair because it doesn't take nearly as much time to get ready in the morning. But there isn't the ponytail option to pull it off your face when you're doing a workout. I clip it sometimes, but the clips seem to slide out. If you have any good suggestions, please let me know. So again, if it's too hard from your toes, go from your knees. Okay, take a little rest here on your tummy. We're doing those back bow jacks. My son's name is Jack, and I think of him every time I do jumping jacks or back bow jacks or any kind of thing with a jack in it. I get a picture of my son's face in my head. So, bending that body up and then doing sort of a jumping jack motion. If it's difficult, pull your arms in so the lever isn't as long. And if you can, keep your arms out. This is our last interval. We have about 5 seconds left and then we're done. Totally done. Okay. So that's the end of this workout. I hope you liked it, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon.